So in chapter 5A of Spanish 2, we're looking again at the imperfect versus preterite. We got a little chart last time about different uses of the imperfect and different uses of the preterite. So this lesson is going to be more like a review. I'm assuming that you got a little bit of it last chapter. You kind of see the difference between the two. But let's go over these again as far as when do we use the preterite and when do we use the imperfect. Basically, what we can remember about the preterite is this acronym right here. The imperfect. When we're thinking about when we use the imperfect, I want us to remember waters. Waters is a pretty easy acronym for us to remember. Take just a second, if you can, pause the video and see if you can fill in one, more, or all of the words for waters. When do we use the imperfect? For the W, this is when we talk about the weather. It was sunny, it was rainy, it was cloudy. Age, for when we say that somebody was 10 years old, or I was 20 at the time. How old somebody was in the past is going to be imperfect. Time, this is when we're telling time. It was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It was 10 o'clock at night. It was summertime. Anytime we refer to what the time was. Emotion. I was happy, I was sad, we were frustrated about something, how we were feeling, what our temporary condition was at the time. Repetition. If it says that you used to do that action all the time, or often, always, on Mondays, every summer. Any indicator that tells you that this happened more than once in the past, that this was repeated in the past, it's going to be imperfect. And the setting. We're describing the situation. We're describing what things looked like. We're describing what was happening. That's what we're going to use the imperfect for. So we conjugate with the aba ending or the ia ending. This is the aba, ia side of things, is the imperfect. And this Waters acronym should help us remember when to use each one. Okay, so if you are getting more and more familiar with this acronym, we also should remember that this is the aba and ia ending, so that we know, okay, it's imperfect, now how do I conjugate it? Conjugate it like this. When we talk about the preterite, my biggest thing about the preterite is to remember that it is a single past action. Just like we say in the song, the preterite is a single past action. But I did try to come up with a quick acronym for when we use the preterite, and the acronym that I created was ICE. So we can use the preterite for an interruption of some kind. So we have the setting, this is what was happening, this is all the things that were going on in the scene when, boom, there was an interrupting event that took place. That would be in the preterite. If it is a completed action, so if I say that I bought my ticket to the Aerosmith concert, that is a completed action. I bought it. It's over. This is what we refer to as the single past action as well. If I let you know that I got an A in that class, that is a completed action. I'm not talking about what was happening in a past situation like I would with the imperfect. I'm just letting you know what was already done at that moment in the past. And then if I know the exact number, if I know the exact number of times or the exact length of time, basically I know the exact number, that's going to be preterite as well. So if I went to Spain as a child with my family in the summers all the time, that's an imperfect situation. But if I went to Spain twice as a child, now I know the exact number of times. That's going to be a preterite situation. And the preterite is going to be conjugated like the hablé, hablaste, hablo, hablamos, hablaron, all of those endings, including our STEMmy verbs that have tuve and tuviste, tuvo, tuvimos, tuvieron. Those are the preterite endings rather than the aba or ia. So if you can pinpoint exactly when it happened, then you're going to use the preterite. If it was more of an ongoing thing or not a specified action at a specific time, then you're going to use the imperfect. Hopefully these two examples are going to help you differentiate between the two in Chapter 5a.